Avísame, mi amor, si me vas a dejar. Avísame, mi amor, si me vas a olvidar.
Set your own limitations, don't ever be constricted. No rewards if you don't risk it. Fuck the statistics, reality rap, kid dig, none of it scripted. Spitting pith, I don't blame you when you get it twisted. Lifted, trying to understand what's depicted in every line, you missed it. Only searching for riches, digits become your shackles. Ain't living what's on the channels, we all wishing to travel. Stuck on that same gravel, gotta grapple for a piece of equality. Peace and commodities, a week free of poverty. A speech with some honesty. The world we live in, born in prison, sworn to listen. We all live in division, the lines is hidden. Those driven to gain admission, get put to sleep by submission. Written in every book, every chiseled inscription, ancient wisdom. Pecking orders by section offers with better quarters. These cheddar flossers and bread extorters should get up off us.
Avísame, mi amor, si me vas a dejar. Avísame, mi amor, si me vas a olvidar.
You're not my man. You're not my man. You're a genius.
All right, I'm solid. All right, you can hear us just fine, right?
Yeah, I hear everything. We're good.
Hey, let's go. All right, let's get this rolling, man. We're not going to take up too much of your time, but we're going to have a nice little fun interview. So I'm going to start this off. I'm John D. Contradiction, and we got my man Walco. We don't want to, I think we actually both reviewed you. But
yeah, I think I did this last one.
And I did the first one. But yeah, introduce yourself, man, for when we get these listeners rocking.
Yeah, Mike Titan. Yeah, my new album is The Lyricist Manifesto. You guys have reviewed two of my albums. The first one was Epic. And yeah, I really appreciate your reviews, though. I like the fact that
we appreciate music.
Give honest reviews.
Oh, yeah, we be fucking people up.
That's the brand.
Yeah, for sure. I'm saying, because when you really like, love hip hop and you want to hear what people really think, you know what I mean? So
we're not trying to bullshit nobody.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's rough too, because y'all get paid for it too, you know what I'm saying? But in order to get, and still keep it real is tough, because then people feel like, you're paying for it, you're going to get a positive review. But I appreciate that.
Nobody's safe.
Exactly.
And we keep it fair, man. We try to keep it as fair as possible. We try to keep it like, we do all different like subgenres of hip hop. We try to keep a fair ear, you know what I'm saying? But we keep it real, like, because we think there's too many yes men in this fucking music industry right now.
Even everybody that is in Not Your Man's, if they're an artist and they release something, we put the review out. So it's getting reviewed externally. So we're not doing it for like our friends and shit. So anybody can catch a stamp.
Definitely. I appreciate that, though. It's you definitely want to get people to take a real ear to your music, rather than just whatever. You pay for somebody to promote your shit, and they're not really into it. It's garbage.
Oh, it's a fact. Yeah, because usually, like, if you get, there's people who like to be fans, you know what I'm saying? And they'll give you a good, like, oh, this is dope, but you want, at the most part, you want to know what an artist or someone who really dives in thinks of it too. That's what you want to really listen out for, you know what I'm saying? So we try to offer that. Like, that's pretty much how it is. I've been doing music for a minute, and I've always been the person to like bump music and be like, yo, y'all check this out. Or if someone's like, check this out, I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't fucking with it. So I'm like, yo, let me turn this into something productive. Let me try to help out the culture that I fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. But I think you guys probably have, for me anyway, probably the best online review system that I've seen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
especially for hip hop. Seriously though, because it's a good from just the name of it to how you guys lay it out and everything. It's good.
Appreciate that. And people don't know, like, when I put this whole thing together, like, I hit up like Welcome them. I spent like a couple days just mapping shit together. I probably spent a day on just the emojis, because I was like, all right, how are we gonna get young kids to attract to something, but also like the new age has like that attention span, but the old school has like their own type of way too. So I was like, I want to make the emojis authentic, but I want the reviews to be short, straight to the point, and I want it to follow a one listen format. I'm not trying to give people extra spins because they're a name or if they're not a name. I just want to know if it feels good when you first listen to it, that's fire to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like we getting that out there. You know what I'm saying? That was the goal.
It's been work though.
It's working. Nah, it's definitely working.
Hey man, I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. But let's get into this. It's about you though, man. We talk about the page enough, man. So first and foremost, you got a cold ass name. Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it. How'd you get that Mike Titan? You get dubbed that or?
Well, not really. Nah, I'm gonna say I dubbed myself that. That's just what it is.
Hey, okay.
I'm a big boxing fan. I've always been a big boxing fan, and Mike Titan, it just kind of sounded like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold.
Yeah. So I think that's really what it was. If I had to say what it was, it's probably that. And I'm also, big into, reading and mythology and shit like that. So Mike Titan just sounded dope.
It fits.
Yeah, that's strong. It's a strong name.
I love boxing. So that's really what it is.
It works. It's cold. I remember when what's his name? Tamal sent this to us. Carries the culture. He sent me the first one. And I was like, man, this name is Colt. I'm like, man, I better hear punchlines. And I was like, yo, he fucking swinging. I was like, he's swinging, bro. And that was epic.
I try to tell people that because it's hard nowadays, like you were saying, with people's short attention spans or whatever. But for me, rap is it's kind of like a 2-part thing, basically, that you gotta have. You gotta have that social commentary aspect to your music, where you talking about real shit.
Yeah.
But then the other aspect is rap sport. It's kind of like blood sport. So you can never take the ego. The competitiveness out of hip hop, but a lot of people now really don't do hip hop in like a competitive way. They're more just trying to make music.
Yeah, the mainstream is kind of taken away from it. They're kind of putting the more rock and roll influence subgenres and making it the more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they trying to make it fun. They taking out the real fun of it. They're trying to make it like kids friendly type shit. You know what I'm saying?
But when I was growing up, it was, you wanted to be the best.
You wanted to be nice. Yep.
You wanted to be the best. You wanted to be nice, even if you didn't want to be the best. Like you said, you want to be nice.
Yeah, you want to be nice enough for people to be like, yo, he's fucking nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's different times, man. Back in the day, you had to work hard, bro. Like if you couldn't just be like, oh, I could punchline. No, you had to deliver it. You had to sound like where you were from. You had to represent. You had to, you know what I'm saying? You had to go through the gauntlet at home and then outside of home. And nowadays it's like, oh, if I could get somebody to doll up my music to make it sound radio ready.
If I can pop on TikTok, I'm straight.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Is you got a combo of that, plus the cosign from somebody that's already up. That really makes an artist right now.
Yeah.
Is you kind of got to be dumb.
Somebody's got to grab you.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's not fun. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes away a lot of the cool shit. Like I remember back in my favorite days of hip hop, there would be so many killers from different areas, and when they got on a track together, that was a win for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my favorite songs, and also one of my favorite beefs spawned off of it, is that that 5 4 3 2 1, that 7 6 5 4, with Cannabis, LL, DMX.
Oh yeah.
I had so many different areas on there, and it was just a crazy track. Like that was an all-star game. You know what I'm saying, for a hip hop fan.
But you see how egos, those are guys that want to be the best. You know what I mean? And Cannabis definitely one of those guys.
Yo.
And LL, even.
Oh, LL definitely got the ego. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. He's not trying to let you show him.
Not at all.
And it was a win.
My verse.
It was a win for everybody. Like as a fan, you won. Even if they were beefing, you won as a hip hop fan. Like you were like, this shit is gold.
I think selfishly, hip hop fans, we want more beef music.
We want to see people show that.
I don't want anybody to necessarily get hurt, but I
want to hear someone come for throats.
Of you know what I like? People don't talk about. It's like Nas and Big, how they made records for each other, even though you ain't know they're supposed to be about each other, but they competitive in their own way. That kind of competitiveness is crazy. I don't know if it's really existing right now in the game, but to hear something like that where Nas was like, the message was for Big. It wasn't, even though Pac,
and he said,
the message was for Big.
That was one of my favorite things on Godson when Nas was like, yo, who'd you think Kicking the Door was for? I was like, oh, that was like a, you found that out at a young age. You're like, yo, that's crazy. I never knew that. That shit's fire. And that kind of feeling is like, nobody does it. Everybody's just like, oh, I don't care. He don't have as many listens as me. I'm not going to give him pain. Like,
how many followers you got?
Yeah, like we get excited if somebody goes at Drake. Like that's how dead it's been. You know what I'm saying? Like who cares about who cares about
like
some...
I like the anonymity now, like for people not knowing who I am, you know what I'm saying? Because if I end up in a cypher somewhere or I'm at like a underground radio station or some shit like that,
Snap.
and I'm there and people try to rap with you or cypher with you in a session, it's like, they're probably gonna wish they hadn't after that, probably.
That's the fun shit. Yeah, that's honestly, those are the little good things of now jumping on something and like surprising people who are just like ready for something regular and they hear some shit and they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh shit, I was sleeping.
Yeah. I mean, but you could never kill that good. Like at the end of the day, that penmanship will never die. You know what I'm saying? It'll still shock people. Like as much as it may not be their wave, sometimes it has its moments. I
think in some ways it is coming back.
Yeah,
it is.
I don't think it's fully left, but it does peek its head out.
I think more people are starting to appreciate it. Maybe again.
Hopefully that younger generation that started, some of the bullshit that's out right now is that they're actually getting smarter now. That they're getting older, and they started to appreciate shit like that more. Yeah. So we'll see how shit is.
Yeah, man. You can't do that party bullshit for long. No, you can't do it forever, bro. We get old, bro. Sometimes that shit it gets to a point where it's not appealing anymore.
No.
Especially like trying to keep up with like imagine being fucking like a 30-year-old rapper trying to keep up with teenagers. That don't make no fucking sense, bro. Rap 30-year-old rap. Give me my 444. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm not. It's like another one of the things I'm not a fan of is like you got 40, 50-year-old niggas still making songs about robbing people and shit.
Yeah, I mean, cut it out.
You gonna bust a hip? It's
not even their life anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people is already on. They've been rich for like 20 years.
Rap about being rich. Let's go.
Yeah, give me something. Don't give me no musket raps.
That's the life now. Let me hear that.
I actually, we didn't drop the review, but we got a review coming. But I'll drop it Monday because we gonna drop this Wednesday, so I'm gonna drop it Monday. But Jeezy put out something new, and I was like, oh, I thought he retired, and I listened to it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to listen to Jeezy talk about the shit he used to talk about no more. Like, we know you rich, we know you out here saving your community, bro. Don't talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here with this.
He was one of those guys back in the day, though, when I was younger. Like, I never liked him as a lyricist, but I liked music.
He wasn't a great lyric, but he was. But that first album was like a street slapper,
Yeah, he would say simple shit, but he would say cold shit.
Yeah. No, he did. He did say some cold shit. Yeah. But I'm saying as a lyricist, he's not somebody I would be like, oh, he's a great lyricist.
Yeah.
But he was great at putting songs together.
Yeah. He could heat the block up with some of his music. Those were like street bangers.
He just knew how to make songs. His ad-libs, his bridges, everything. He was dope.
That was like the, I mean, not every, not to do what everybody does and like shit on Southern artists, but that was like the talent of the South. The South had that, you know what I'm saying? They had that light your block up type shit.
I mean, T.I. is the same thing, except
T.I. is a lyricist though. T.I. is nice.
He's a lyricist too, but
I remember when I was
compare him to some like East Coast people and shit though, he's not like there's a cap on T.I. And I'm a Southern person, and I'm a huge T.I.
Wait. You ain't see T.I. when he came after Floyd Mayweather. And now, granted, he's coming after a boxer.
I think maybe I lost some of my like when I started seeing him on TV and shit. Maybe I just kind of.
T.I.'s nice, bro. T.I.'s always been like super nice.
Bro. I like T.I. I fuck with T.I. I fuck with Ludacris too. Ludacris
underrated.
He put out a 444 before Jay-Z. Nobody just talks about it. It's called Burning Bridges.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
He put out a very grown album.
Real, but Life is Good came out before that Jay album.
Yeah,
that's like
Life is Good gets zero of the credit it deserves, bro. When that shit came out, I was like, Nas put out a masterpiece and nobody gave it love.
No,
you're a huge Nas fanboy too, though.
I love, but to be honest, I wasn't crazy about his last album, but Life is Good was crazy, and the
Yeah.
album right before that was crazy too. The Untitled
the
joint.
Untitled was crazy.
You're talking about the Lost tapes, though, right? You didn't fuck with that.
The last Lost tapes was.
Oh, the Lost tapes. It had a couple of tracks.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't like.
You're talking about the Kanye produced shit, right?
Yeah, no, I was talking about that. That has
That shit was kind of
maybe tracks on it that were good.
Yeah, that wasn't that great.
I was like, that's not Nas's style. It
No.
just don't even sound right.
There's too much on the beats. Like Nas needs open beats and shit like that. But Life is Good. Life is Good made me so afraid of marriage, bro. Like Life is Good had me shook.
Nas was talking about weird.
It ain't that bad, bro. I promise.
He had a song on Life is Good with Mary J. Blige. That shit was crazy.
Yeah. And what's crazy is the whole, like, the direction of that album. It went from, like, him finding out about the divorce, losing half, getting sad, but him apologizing to her and him, like, forgiving. Yeah. It was such a grown album, bro.
You know why? It's
real album.
Yeah, it was a real album. Because you know he meant everything he wrote down. You know what I'm saying? And then the cover is legend. Like, him with the wedding dress. Oh, man, he killed it.
But nobody talks about that album because he's not Jay-Z.
Which is crazy.
The kids, that's the people that, man.
Which is crazy. Is like as much as 444, I thought it was dope. It's not Life is Good. And salute to No ID for giving Jay a classic alone off beats. But like, come on, bro.
Hot take, I like Burning Bridges better.
Than what? 444? Oh, yeah. Burning Bridges was great. But Ludacris has just always been nice, and no one's given him the credit because he had that
shit on that shit, too.
Completely slept on Ludacris.
Yeah. It's that Southern stigma.
Where he might have actually
cooked Nas. He's the one of the first rappers that cooked Nas, and it was on the first Lost tapes. And he snapped. Yeah. And he snapped. And I was like, yo, and Nas doesn't do a lot of features with people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't.
Nah, so like to get that on your belt, that's legendary, bro. That's that's also part of that, like that fun, like that, you know what I'm saying? It's like whenever you hear M on a track with anyone new age or anything like that, M is gonna completely try to do 1,000 more things than them. That's that competitive shit. Yeah, you gotta respect. But you see what he's trying to do. Like he's trying to bury them in every way possible so they don't have a chance.
It's almost like he invites them for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Just like he's like, I guarantee you he does. He probably is like, hey, I want you to come do a song with me, but you need to send me your verse first.
Yeah.
And then I'll release the final product.
He probably does respect them too.
Yeah.
He probably does respect them. I mean, I see him as that type of artist that he probably would want to get you on the record if he respects you.
Yeah.
But you know, he's gonna try to burn you on that.
He's gonna absolutely try. There's a song on
it's like
on Marshall Mathers LP2. And it is Eminem versus Kendrick Lamar. And when I tell you they're both trying to kill each other, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And it's a weird song. It's like a country type song, but they are trying to kill each other. And I'm like, that's the type of shit that's missing in this day and age. I want to see artists go at each other's heads. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's on the same track and it's not even them directly, you can tell they're trying to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? That's dope.
Yep. Yeah, he probably chose that beat on purpose too, Eminem.
to test them. Yeah.
Just to be weird.
Yeah, and that's the shit, like that type of music, man, that type of competitiveness is like it keeps things fun. Like if you can't have fun with something like that, like then you're way too sensitive to be an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's talk about your project more.
Yo,
it's got super sidelined.
Cause he's talking what I like to talk about, bro. You know I like that competitiveness shit. But let's get right into this Lyricist Manifesto. So first I want to ask though, how has it been looking like just from the eyes of like critics and all that stuff? Like how's it been doing since it dropped?
Well, everybody seems to like it, you know what I mean? But you know how it is moving in this independent scene. It's hard to really for me, like I don't really care about selling anything or anything. I'm trying to get more people to listen to it. Yeah. So I write shit because I really want people to hear it, and I feel like it's important that they do hear it. Yeah. So there's a lot of bullshit out there, and whatever way I can get some of the things that I'm thinking out there, that's kind of what I want to do.
Okay.
So for me, like this album was very much what the title says it was. It was for me like my manifesto, basically on the current state of the world and people, how we are, and also about rap music. So it was kind of twofold in that way, where I wanted to talk about the not just this country but the world in general, and the music scene, because honestly they kind of both suffer from the same shit, really. Like I was talking about
fake shit and lazy shit ruin the world, bro. Whether it's the music, whether it's cultures, they ruin the world, man.
I think the fake shit is a huge part of it too, because lazy can kind of weed itself out over time.
Yeah.
But fake shit will infiltrate.
Yeah, fake shit will ruin a whole culture, bro. That's like when I blame the hipster era. You know what I'm saying? You had the hipsters who knew more about, who studied hip hop, specific details to come off as if they knew more about hip hop than the actual pioneers, and like the hipsters kind of took it. You know what I'm saying? Like backpackers, all of a sudden, like we forget about backpackers, we forget about the people who pushed it, and now hipsters about it. Hip hop got gentrified, yes sir.
A little bit.
Yes sir. Everything gets gentrified, bro. You let that money, you let that big money into it, and that's what happens, bro.
I blame Macklemore.
Yo, Macklemore was, but see, the thing is, Macklemore was hip hop back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
He was nice, and then he sold out.
He did. He still got KRS-One on his last album. No, I'm not mad at that.
See, but also in that way, like how I say music and everything else is kind of suffers from the same ails. It's like the mainstream media now, like basically so put it this way, like if you were talking like about politics or whatever, if the mainstream media puts their strength behind something, you know what I mean? That's kind of what the people, and they serve it to the people. Yeah, that's all you're going to see, and that's what the people, they want. They accept that because they take that as golden. That's where they're going for their information, and it's the same kind of thing with like hip hop too. Yeah. So whatever's popular is what's being pushed by these DJs on the radio. A lot of them are getting paid. Most of them are getting paid.
Yeah, these big companies. It's
so like basically setting the narrative. Basically,
yeah, it's like Facebook, bro. Like you see people on Facebook sharing like fake news and stuff because they're not doing the research. They're putting what's right in front of them, and that's literally like, as people, that's pretty much something we should look at ourselves. Like, are you going to just believe everything because it's in front of your face? Or are you going to take that time to put in that research, to put in that work and learn something? You know what I'm saying? And that's the state of everything we're in right now. That's part of this generation, you know?
Yeah. That's why I kind of want to start the record with that track, with the
opening track is
ridiculous.
Oh my
and it's
God.
So yeah, basically that's about trying to kind of escape that mental prison that you're kind of put in by the mainstream media, not just them, but also by yourself. Because you kind of allow yourself to be put in that situation. And also wanted to talk about the idea of manufacturing consent, which for me was a big influence for me from Noam Chomsky. Give people a little bit of that to
let them know.
Hopefully them to learn a little bit more about that.
But see, and that's fire to me. Like one that's making me more of a fan, because the fact that you can have like these underlying messages in a fire track and project that's like that you can tell has got blood, sweat, and tears in it. Like I can tell off rip, you did not put a single throwaway on this. You know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, this first song, this is a definite first song. This is how you intro it. This next song is going to be a fire follow-up and back until you were like, all right, this is too fire. Let me put this out. You know what I'm saying?
Most of my throwaways happen on the page.
There you go.
I got you.
If you go to the studio with it, it's more than likely to be on the album. It's already been
through the tests.
Yep. I put I think over the past couple of years, I recorded a few throwaway tracks, and I put them on a small. It's not even an EP; it's a single. I released it. It's called Ill Soliloquy. It's everywhere. It's got 3 tracks on there, and they just didn't make the albums because they didn't really fit the narrative of any of the albums that were out. But they out there. Honestly, Ill Soliloquy would have been a great track for this album. But
hey man, this track has enough great track. Like this was like a very skipless, and it's honestly like we listen to too much music. You know what I'm saying? We listen to mad music. To have skipless projects hit our ears is such a treat to us, because we go through so much like garbage and so much cookie cutter shit. So to hear something that was damn near skip free, like when I bumped this, I was like, I didn't skip a single song and I had a good time. and I look at the review like Walko, I'm like, yo, Walko had a good time with this. Like, this is rare. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is rare to have that kind of like drive, to have that kind of hunger. Cause like, this just shows that you care about your craft. You know what I'm saying? And that's all as listeners we want. We want not only a piece of you, we want to know that you care. We want to know that you're not just trying to take our streams and our money so you can pop. You know what I'm saying?
One of the most important things, absolutely. One of the most important things for me is that, see, I got a 14-year-old son. Hey. So I want to make music that I would be comfortable with his 14-year-old, 15-year-old friends listening to. You know what I'm saying? It's the stuff that would actually, so I don't want to make like hip hop has an edge and you got to keep that. So like, I'm not going to make the same type of music that I was making, say, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So the music I want to make now is more reflective of the kind of what I would want these kids to know. You know what I mean? What they're not being taught, the shit that would make them, question maybe what they think they know and maybe want to, learn a little bit more about something. And I kind of try to write perspective.
Hey, man, I
encourage them to do drugs.
Completely agree with that. I am a fan of that. I write myself, and that's a lot of what I write about. I write about stuff that I'm like, yo, I want to relate. I want these kids to latch on to something. I want someone who's either my age or someone who's younger, wanting to know what it's like to be my age type of thing, to latch on to what I'm saying. I'm trying to give like real lessons, you know what I'm saying? Real life stuff. Like some of the stuff that like back in the day taught me, you know what I'm saying? Not every Wu-Tang track changed my life, but there's a few Ghostface tracks, you know what I'm saying? That I'm like, yo, that All That I Got Is You. I hold on to that song dearly. You know what I'm saying?
Best hip hop records
ever. And it's like that taught me something that I've held on to my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that even if it's once for, you know what I'm saying, for someone younger than me.
That is real music, right there.
That is soul, hip hop. That song is so much in one, bro. It's crazy.
It's a feeling. It's a moment. You know what I'm saying, in somebody's life. That's what it should be. Because at the end of the day, art. Whether you're drawing it, whether you're singing it, rapping it, playing it. It's all
substance,
and it's supposed to be.
It meant something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a piece of you. Like even if someone can't relate, if they can visualize what you're telling them, you did your job. You know what I'm saying? I can't visualize every one of these cats talking about bitches and in the club. I'm like,
there's certain rap that's like that's like something you would see in a gallery, and then there's rap that's like coffee top doodling and shit.
Fact. That's a super fact. Yeah, it's weird, bro. It's like, all right, like we get it. You're having fun, but I don't want to hear that for a whole album. Like I'm not clubbing 7 days a week, bro. After clubbing too hard one night, I'm out of commission for at least 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me.
Yeah, and I understand my music is not going to be
dance music.
Played by people I don't even want to have like that kind of bass. That's never going to be my bass. Yeah. So I don't try to rap for a specific bass or try to write to kind of conform myself to fit like a certain genre or like what's expected to be like quote unquote is labeled as successful. I mean, because really, for me, the measure of success in terms of hip hop for me is how I feel about what I put out.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
I want to get people to hear it. Yep. So it's not necessarily like the money. I really do want people to just hear it.
Yeah.
So that's for me is what success is. And if you can get people to hear it, that they feel you.
Yeah. And honestly, that's work, bro. Like that's your art, bro. Like that's what it's supposed to be. It's got to be your art first. You know what I'm saying? Before it's your like check, or whatever people are going for.
Yeah.
No, but I truly appreciate that. Like this project, I had a good time with it, front to back. I've been bumping. It's my my quarantine workout mix. You know what I'm saying? The home workout mix.
When I was listening to it, I was putting away a palette of paint, had me throwing boxes at the wall.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear
man. Yo, it's crazy. I never thought like, cause like when I was young, I was a big fan of just like bars. You know what I'm saying? Like I loved battle rap. I still do love battle. I'm obsessed with battle rap, but I love battle rap. I liked Lloyd Banks mixtapes were like the best shits ever. I was a fan of like, yeah, all of the BT, like those dudes, the freestyle cats, like, you know, Backland and like Poster Boy and all that stuff. And I never would thought that there'd be a time where punchlines was rare. Where it'd be like, oh, I guess I guess all I have is like, oh, I guess I gotta listen to Jadakiss. Oh, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, yo, why is this so scarce? So hearing like some fresh new punchlines, and I no disrespect to Jadakiss and like Fab and like the legend, but like, come on,
we
bro.
heard them do it.
Yeah, so hearing a fresh new set of like bars and a whole new perspective, and like, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm 100% here for it.
You got good, your beat selections on point.
Yo.
You got that sound.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, you know, they say, you know, the guy chooses whack beats. You know, people say that about Nas.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. And he'll never live that down.
Lyricist to walk the earth, and he can't pick a beat to save his fucking life.
He'll never. And it's crazy because, like, it'll be like a whole project of like dope beats, and there'll be one very bad beat, and it'll haunt Nas forever. You'll be like, why did he pick that, bro? Like, what's going on?
Nas being Nas.
Yeah, Stillmatic had like,
he doesn't get the same leeway that other rappers get.
No, not at all.
People still don't, you know, let him live down Uchiwali.
Never. And and that song was like, we got beat to death with that song. It was on the radio all day. Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. And that's a weird beat till this day. But like, yeah, like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how people live that. But your beat selection is fire. Like, and it's all part of the game too. Like, that's not like an easy thing to, you know what I'm saying?
It's a good example of food with the medicine, though.
Yo, fact. Giving the food with the medicine. Fact.
Yeah, because it's all, you know, it's like, it's all part of that, of the art, so that it is important. So when rappers, for me, say that the beat is not important for them, you know, that it is, you know, it's mostly about the lyrics, you know, that's true for someone who's only listening, you know, to lyrics.
Yeah, you might just do a cappella shit then.
It's a art piece, you know. If you got a work of art, it matters what paper you're putting it on. You know what I'm saying? It matters how you frame, exactly. All that shit matters. Yeah, album cover matters. You know what I mean? Like, all that shit matters.
Oh yeah, we really rock with that album cover too. It's evil as hell, evil looking as hell.
that album cover. So I designed that cover. That cover is it's an older illustration of Karl Marx. So and a transparent Guy Fawkes mask placed over that with the symbol. The big fish eating the little fish is an example of capitalism, basically.
Hey, look at that. You learned something new.
My man's is like an onion. He's got layers.
Yo, facts. That's fire, though.
And even the parental advisory is the actual first, it's the cover to the first manuscript for the Communist Manifesto of Karl Marx.
That's it. Everybody else can go home.
Yeah, that's fire. And this is dope because, like, compared to the last one, I was like, oh, this is like a Megadeth cover. This is metal as hell.
That's my man. Chris did that cover for me. Painted that, fire. And then I did the lettering for it. I freehanded the lettering for Epic on that cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we try to keep all that shit in house, and for me, if I can do the artwork, I've done most of my own artwork, so I want to do it because it actually is really is a like I said, a piece of the.
It's rewarding too when you can kind of be like, I did that. That's me. I did that. I rapped. Sick. I did the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it fits more towards your message, more towards what you're trying to get people to understand and hear. So that's dope, yo. I would have never thought that. That's fire. That adds more. That's making me more.
And instead of having, it just makes sense too, because instead of having to try to explain all that to somebody and have them do their interpretation, just
exactly.
Do
it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Instead of just being like, oh yeah, I just told some dude to draw something for me, and it's what. That's what I got. What does it mean? I don't know, man. Whatever he was thinking.
I'm good too, because sometimes I will get into that mood where like, yeah, the album kind of is taking a lot from me. So I'm like, shit, man, maybe if I could get a little help here, get somebody to do the cover. And I'll talk about it. Like one of the guys I talk to a lot about shit like that is Fred. Fred Ones is he does all my mixing and mastering. He actually produced one of the beats on this album for Goodwill Spittin'. He's also a crazy graph artist, and I had asked him initially to do the cover for this, but I always do shit like that, and then I never follow up on it because eventually I get to
yeah, you do it yourself.
Big mood.
Yo, facts. Hey man, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being self-sufficient, man. It helps you. It helps you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? It helps you in the long run, man. That's what I try to tell a lot of the young cats that follow us and do all this stuff. I'm like, yo, man, if you want to feel like you want to do something, learn it. You know what I'm saying? If you have that capacity, learn it, bro. You'll save money and you'll get exactly what you're trying to get out there across, you know?
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that at all, man. Now that's fucking dope though, man. That is super dope. So outside of this, I know you just dropped this, but well, I can't even ask if you playing shows and stuff because we on quarantine, but did you have like a
right now.
Oh wait, hold on. Your audio went a little. You sound like
what happened?
Background. What happened? Hold on.
Nah, it's all fucked up. You got a bad signal maybe or something, or your hand over the mic.
Oh no, it sounds mad far away.
Oh no. Everything was going so well.
Oh, it was clean. Oh no, it sounds mad far away. Hold on.
I think it's a signal thing or something.
It might be like connection thing. Maybe hop out, hop back in.
All right, let me try that.
Yeah, let's hop out, hop back in.
I hate when the conversation's going really well and something goes wrong.
It's so good. I'm gonna pull you out and then we're gonna get him back in. It's going good too.
I know, as I'm saying. Figures.
That's editing I gotta throw in there. I'm just gonna let it rock. Just leave it there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. It sounds a little bit better. Let me see.
Straight.
That's way better.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, outside of this, I know you ain't had no. But did you have shows planned or anything like that before this whole quarantine, bro?
I had a couple of showcases that I was looking at, but this kind of came at me so fast because I was actually pushing real hard to get the album out by a certain time. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I was kind of racing with the current events of the time and to be honest, the Democratic primary that was going on at the same time. I was trying to get it out. You know, I felt like it was the perfect time. Bless you. I felt like it was the perfect time to release, you know, the album, and I just needed to get it out.
You needed, that moment was hot. You were like, oh, it's got.
It was pretty apropos, I will say.
Yeah, for me, I needed it.
Especially with everything that's going on right now with people losing their jobs and shit too.
Yo,
a couple of these is looking real funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, shit reveals itself, you know, during moments like this. You know how bad a certain system is for people. You know, it'll rear its ugly head now in the worst moments. You know, and people are
getting crazy.
Yeah, especially when everybody got all this free time to do all this thinking right now.
Yeah.
Fuck my job.
They're gonna see real quick, you know, how the current state of affairs and the status quo for regular people is not working.
It's not.
You know, you got 6.6 million people now filing for unemployment. Shit's about to get real crazy out here.
Oh yeah,
and that's just right now.
And what's crazy is like it's funny because. Just like a small snippet of it. Like I know a lot of people that are involved in like restaurant businesses and all sorts of stuff like that. And I always remembered a few people telling me like, a few people, they had restaurants in like Astoria and they were like, oh yeah, you know, we're renting out these spots like a year at a time and places are moving and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, yo, that's a terrible way. You know what I'm saying? To run like a small independent business, you know what I'm saying? And now look who's getting beaten. Look who's like out in the water dead right now.
People that work there, those gig workers, those people, you know, they work on tips. They're going to be fucked over the most. And a lot of those people that, you know, so they have a little stimulus thing coming for people, which is, you know, terrible, by the way. That whole
it's a joke.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, was not going to get anything from those bills. People, kind of people that I know, you know what I'm saying? Like immigrants or, people from, Latin America that are working in these,
the real backbone,
restaurants and shit like
the
that.
real
They're not
backbone.
making any of that money. They don't have a social security number, and their jobs are the ones that are affected right now. You can't go to a restaurant and eat right now. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, it's a delivery spot.
Not just the the immigrant workers, but the people that are working in places like movie theaters or any place that you go to.
Social gathering places.
Social gathering.
Yep.
Those people, they don't make a lot of money as it is.
Oh,
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go a few weeks without a paycheck. Shit's going to start getting real dire for people, especially when you're talking about this money's not going to get into some people's hands, if they don't. If they didn't have direct deposit or something in their
they gotta find a whole different way. They're going on websites crashing. Yeah,
I'd be waiting 4 months to get money that's supposed to be emergency money. What the fuck is that emergency?
And you're waiting 4 months for emergency money, and your rent is on freeze for 1 month. So you got to figure out 3 months all by yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit that just don't add up right now.
No.
So since you got free time right now, you coming out with another album or?
Facts.
Get the fuck out of here, cat.
I'm always working on it. I'm always working on it. Like I'm definitely working on something right now. Yeah. I actually was gonna get y'all to review some old shit that I had put out that y'all never reviewed. It's called Anatomy of a Superhero. It was a joint that came out. It was an EP I dropped right before Epic, and I just wanted to get an ear on it.
Hey, we'll take a look at it.
Maybe we'll get somebody to listen to it.
Actually start trying to push that so it gets a little more, play. I want to promote that album a little bit because also that's got some fucking gems on there that for me are very relevant.
Okay, we'll check it out. We got other people on the team that haven't had the chance to review you yet, so I'll send it to one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'll test Drake, send it to him.
I got a lot of new shit. I got some shit coming out with this dude, Rolly Omega, and The Operation. Together they called Science Division. They did one of the tracks on the Lyricist Manifesto. They did the track with me and IQ, I believe it's called Illusion. Yeah. So they did that beat. I mean, this dude is a monster. I mean, together they're like a really good production team, and Rolly Omega is a sick DJ too. So it's gonna be an album that's very much in the vein of like a primo album. It's gonna have a lot of like cuts.
That's what I like to hear. That old traditional, that very deep-rooted hip-hop type sound. That's the best.
Very much like that. That is probably going to be the entirety of the album.
Oh, it's going to be fire.
So
that's
what I'm working on right now.
That's going to be, I'm ready for that. I'm 100% ready for that.
I'll send y'all a little sample from that. We got some joints from there.
Hey,
send
that to the email. Yeah, exclusive. We trying to hear that. I'm always trying to hear like some new, I just like me. I've been a fan of music my whole life. I've been doing music my whole life, man. It'll never get old to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, like I see you, you're doing this, you're doing the music. So at a certain point, like we're doing the music because we just love to do it.
That's
you know
it. Yeah, that's it. It's just, if we need it. It's our therapy. It's what we love to do,
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to work, do everything that I got to do, but you got to have that thing that's, that's you, something that, because for me, I'm leaving it behind for my kids too. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be able to listen to.
Yeah, for real. And it keeps you sharp. Like it keeps me, like I love to write because I love to talk about like how I'm feeling because I'm not like the most expressive. I'm not going to talk about my feelings to someone directly, but if I could pen it down on some rap, I will do it. Or I like to talk about current events amongst, like with myself. I'm not going to talk to because, you talk to somebody on Facebook about current events, they're going to offend you. They're going to get crazy or get offended. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if I could get this down on some pen, on some wax, like it feels dope. Like that's a good way to get it off my chest. That's to keep me reading and write on top of me reading and writing. Like that's just the way to me to let loose,
People are more likely to listen to you in your rap record than they are if you try to talk sense to them as you're just a person.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's crazy because you could have somebody, you could talk to somebody all day and they'll just be like, oh, whatever. Like this dude just.
But if you say it and it rhymes,
they're like, oh, this dude's intelligent. Like what? Yeah, they think all of a sudden you smart. Yeah. all of a sudden you're clever. All of a sudden you're intelligent. You're very meticulous how you put things together. It's like, no, bro, I've been about this thinking shit. Like, this is another way to let it out. It's weird, man. It's very weird how people see music and artists.
Yeah. So yeah, man, for me, this last album was it was very much like a statement. I kind of wanted to write it as if it were like
Manifesto.
Yeah, man, exactly.
I think you hit the nail on the head, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Hey, it worked.
Usually I try to have some storytelling on there, but it just didn't really fit. It didn't really fit the narrative of the record.
Yeah. You can't force it. You know what I'm saying? You can't force it. If it's not fitting on there.
For the most part, this is what it was supposed to be, too.
Yeah.
I think you could have had your mans run that verse back one more time.
Back.
That shit bugged me out. I couldn't believe that happened. But yeah, I'm not surprised, man. People get upset, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, he was not okay with that. I was like, come on, man. If we keep it real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
You gotta want to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I sound, because to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all came at me on one of the records and y'all were like, man, he sounded like he was off beat or some shit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm pulling that album from the shelf.
I'm fixing it.
I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna do something. Depending if I feel like they're right or some shit. But it's something definitely taking into consideration.
It's gonna make you listen back. It's gonna at minimum make you listen back just to be sure.
Criticism is a good thing. It should be constructive. For me it is anyway.
Because at the end of the day, it's still someone listening, and that's the goal. If they listen enough to even if it's hate, if someone listens enough to hate or give you some sort of criticism, they listen, bro. Like, you got to appreciate it. It's to a certain extent, you got to appreciate it.
You have to, because that's what you want. You just want that, and the real response to your music. I don't want to hear it, because that's good for me to know. If somebody feels like I sounded a certain way on a record, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know that.
Yeah. And I mean, just to clarify, I don't think he had a bad verse. It just sounded like he was jogging while he recorded it.
Yeah, that's it. And what's funny is when I read the review, I was cracking up. I was like, let me run this song back. I listened to it. I was like, oh, he's not wrong. Like, he sounded like that to me. Like, you made me notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sorry, but
hey, sometimes certain things catch your ears.
And you know what probably makes that I guess stand out more is the fact that the difference in our styles on that record is it's very striking, because I'm taking my time, with my verse, and he definitely tried to speed it up. I think he really tried to go for that Midwest style, represent.
Yeah. And honestly, I get it. I get it too. It's a contrast thing too, because like, you don't want to get on someone's track and sound exactly
and do the
like
same shit. Yeah.
You want that contrast, but you also got to be you, and that's also part of the fun of like doing features and shit.
Yeah,
like that,
if you do a feature with somebody and you hear their verse and you're like, oh, I'm finna rap just like him. There's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you. Yeah, like then like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. Like, how is that supposed to expand your base?
Big on Notorious Thugs.
Yo, facts.
And try to rap like them. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those rare occasions.
Who didn't do that? When Pac rapped with Bone Thugs, he was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a rap slower than I've ever.
He was stretching out his E's like crazy, bro. Yo.
The crazy about that is I like Pac. Not my favorite lyricist of all time. I love Pac though.
He's one of my favorite just music makers.
Biggie was better.
I think he had good storytelling elements too.
He definitely does. Biggie was better on the record with Bone Thugs.
He made better songs.
Yeah, Bone Thugs were better on the Pac record. Their verses on the Pac record are crazy.
They're fire. That song goes hard.
Those are both good songs, honestly.
That's a big sleeper group for me. Bone Thugs and Harmony don't get enough love.
They don't get enough
You don't think? I mean, not anymore, but they were pretty popular.
I feel like they got forgotten. They were popular, but I feel like they've been forgotten with time.
I feel like if you're 25 and up, you fuck with Bone Thugs.
But see, like,
have more respect.
Yeah, because
like the hype anymore.
No one was singing on rap like that. You know, like dudes weren't singing and rapping at the same time.
Yeah.
Period.
And they were really rapping. They was talking about some shit.
Yeah. Some real street shit.
And for the most part, you could tell they all sounded different too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you could tell when they came on the track and shit. So like, you knew who who's busy or crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking.
And they fit the name because when they do that, they would clash with contrast, and then when it came to a hook, they'd harmonize, and it worked.
Exactly.
Shit was crazy.
Yeah, they super slept on. Dope live too. Put on a great live show.
Yeah, a very underrated hip hop group. When people talk about hip hop groups, I rarely hear them mention.
They just took that whole era where like R&B and hip hop was like coming together, and they were just like, fuck it, we're gonna do it ourselves. Yeah. We got all that shit. It's soul, all that.
Yeah,
they're kind of. I mean, in a way, they're kind of responsible for some of the bullshit that's out now. But it's not.
Yeah, we can't attach some of that bullshit to them though. We won't do that. We won't attach them to them. We'll let them live on that. Nah, but they definitely don't get as much respect as they deserve. Like they were on a song they had two separate like classics with Biggie and Pac. Like that's got to say something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Not only that, Crazy Bone got a track with Big Pun.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They're definitely part of the fabric of hip hop.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And people definitely don't give them enough of that credit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey. They're still out here, bro. They're still out here. They're legends. Let them be legends, you know?
Thanks.
Yeah. Nah, it's crazy shit though. Yeah, it's real stuff too, man. Like that whole contrast of sound, like that's what makes music dope. That's why a lot of like new age stuff too, when they're on tracks together, when people on tracks together, I'm like, yo, this is this. I couldn't tell you who was who.
Facts.
And that's and that's not like an enjoy we do a lot of reviews. It's very. Sometimes we'll do a review and we'll throw an emoji next to the feature artist, whether they were dope or not. And sometimes I can't even tell who was who, so I won't even do it. Sometimes I'm just like, yo, I don't even know if this was actually the main dude or not. So I'm not even going to judge whoever's verse it was.
The worst is when they all rap the same and have the features listed.
Exactly. I said some shit on the record. I said some shit about the traps of the trap flow. Because the trap flow really is like a trap, because what happens is people end up using like the same rhyme scheme, so that's where you get that problem where you can't fucking tell who's rhyming on what record. Yep. Especially if someone doesn't have a real distinguishable voice. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You guys got the same exact rhyme scheme on the record.
Yeah, it's weird too, because like what's crazy now is like it used to be if you rapped a certain way because of where you were from. You heard somebody chop, they're like Midwest. You know what I'm saying? If somebody had like that traditional, old school type, you knew who had a Queens sound. You knew who had a Harlem sound. You knew who had like you know what I'm saying? You knew how people rap. And now it's just like, no, it's just who does the 2-time flow, who does old boom bap rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like so dumbed down that it's like, it's so watered down that it just doesn't even make sense anymore. It's like, you don't know where half of these dudes are from. You just assume like, oh, he's from Miami, or maybe he's not. Like, who knows? But they all sound the same. Like somebody told me that Brooklyn has a crazy drill scene, and I was like, my cousin. I was like, what? I'm like, drill's not from out here. It's not ours. Like, what? Why is that?
I'll tell you what. For some of these dudes from Brooklyn, I would never guess they were from Brooklyn. Some of the records that come out. I
didn't know Pop Smoke was from Brooklyn.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I would have never guessed that.
There's a lot of these dudes that sound like that. I wouldn't know where the fuck they're from. New York? I don't know.
It's crazy. And then when you find out, you're like, how? Like, that's what's going on in New York.
What's this kid from the Bronx? What's this kid's name? Oh, man, his name is escaping me right now. High Bridge rapper. A Boogie.
Oh, yo. From the
I would have never guessed you. Bronx. I would never guess that.
Yeah, it's like you're from the birthplace of it, and this is like for real. Like what?
And this is your sound?
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's like how? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I would have never guessed it, because it's like, I don't know.
Who did this to you?
When did it come? Yeah, like that's not where the sound's from.
Yeah, you're from New York. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but you rapping like you're from somewhere else. It's weird.
It's very weird, because then it makes you wonder too, like when you hear cats like that, like if you're from New York and you making music like that, and it's like, yo, how old are you? What did you listen to before? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm thinking. I was gonna say, I think it's the accessibility of stuff now, though, because they can get their hands on anything,
and you can be whoever you want.
Exactly. So their taste is modified at a young age, and then they can just megaphone it out to everybody into the void.
That's fact. That's facts right there. That's true.
But that also shows you're not a part of your environment.
Nah, your community. Yeah, your immediate
that also
surroundings.
shows you're not a part of your. Like if you were from Harlem and you don't salute when someone yells out Dipset, then are you really from Harlem? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's this whole like chasing affirmation thing too with the internet. So like they follow the likes, they follow the affirmation, and then that molds them.
It's weird.
Yeah,
and that's what happens.
What I was saying, about either you want to be, either you're an artist or you're trying to be
liked,
a celebrity.
Exactly.
It's weird.
That's the best.
You want to rap or you want to be famous?
It's
exactly.
Weird. That's weird. Yeah, it's weird, and it's such a weird thing, bro. Because like that whole be famous thing is made into such a like they make it seem so easy that like kids are eating it up.
Be well known.
Kids like they believe anything. Like that's the hip hop is the easiest false dream to sell right now. It's easier than being a athlete, like it's easier than all of that.
The only people selling dreams harder than hip hop is the military recruiters.
Yo, fact.
It's the only people.
Yo, fact. Bro, honestly, there could be a lot of comparisons made.
Yep.
There could be a lot of comparisons made.
I mean, some people could say that hip hop has been turned into a government establishment, but hey, we won't go there.
It is.
Hey.
It very much is like the establishment in the way that it operates. It is of the establishment. It's of kind of the capitalistic nature of things. So even when you talk about rap, almost every song is basically in that vein of like dog eat dog. I'm better than you because I have this, or my life is better than your life because I have this. Imagine, would it be that cool if you were watching motherfuckers like Jamie Dimon on TV talking about how he has so many more things than you?
Oh,
would you like it then?
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Did you like
that?
That's a fact. Like, who the fuck wants that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm changing this channel. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. Imagine that, like Bill Gates' MTV Cribs. Like nobody wants to watch that shit. Like,
well, isn't that what MTV Cribs was though? Come and look at all this shit that I have that you don't have.
Exactly. That's why I appreciated MTV Cribs. Redman.
I was just about. I was thinking the same thing. Redman's was top tier.
He didn't lease a house just for the show.
He had people sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
And he kept calling everything the De La Casa suite. Like, yo, that shit was mad funny, bro. Yo, Redman also super duper underrated.
Redman classic.
Yo, Redman is he's one of my favorite rappers because like no one can put together like a realistic delivery, but also be just as hilarious as flawlessly as he did. He would spit the most real, like gutter, like visual shit ever, and it'd still be hilarious, and like no one would get it like that.
Redman is one of those rappers that's like he's at the borderline of rapper comedian.
Yeah,
I think he's. I like,
but like comedian on like a Richard Pryor, like on a real scale, not like a like a jokey joke. Like his shit is like real.
Funny.
I like to think of him as hip hop's Master Yoshi or Master Roshi.
Master fact.
He's just like a hermit out here macking on bitches. Funny as hell. But he'll fuck your ass up.
That's great.
His catalog
is ridiculous.
His catalog is nice, and people don't rap like him, bro. Like his delivery is way.
But he's just out here cooling it.
Yeah, it shit sounds easy. Hey, Redman's like a different club.
I like Redman more than that.
Yeah. And Redman's nice, but like Redman, his catalog I could bump all day, and it's just the whole, even the little series and the shit that he connects those out, and like the Superman lovers, one of my favorite series throughout a couple of albums, the Superman lover tracks, classics, bro. Like they always got a mix of soul and like the old school era, like the blaxploitation era, mixed with like 90s hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And a dope story to match. That's that craft, man. That's a different cloth, though. Redman was definitely from a whole different fucking cloth.
For sure. Who's your guy in Wu-Tang?
And Wu-Tang? Oh, I'm the Raekwon. Raekwon is the dude.
Number one,
dude. Because he will say the coldest shit with the quietest demeanor. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it'll take a minute. You'll be like, oh, like, and that shit, it's cold, man.
My man invented slang. You know what I'm saying? His slang was so crazy, so greasy, so smooth, butter.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
And it still till this day can fit on anything. Like when he was on Kanye's album, it was like, God, like he could fit on anything, and it's fine.
Ray is still top 5 for me right now.
He don't get a lot of love out there either.
No.
Nobody
Ray,
talks about him no more.
The Ray is absolutely for me. I don't even think there's a lot of people that would say differently. Like my man's, a lot of my peoples wouldn't agree with me on this. They'd probably go Ghostface.
That's kind of who my guy is.
Yeah, that's your guy. See, I'm a Ray. For me, it's Raekwon, bro.
I got nothing I can't knock you for it.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
And I fuck with. It's not that I don't fuck with Raekwon. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. Like I see it. You know what I'm saying?
For me, listen, only built for Cuban links.
Oh my God,
it's ridiculous.
You don't get a better listen front to back than that.
It's just craziness. Yeah. And the feature from Nas on there is golden.
Oh yes,
it's gold.
Oh yeah, you don't get better than that.
Feature versus ever.
Oh yeah, of all time. Oh man, that makes me. Anytime I think of that, I want to bump that project now.
Yeah.
That was that dude. Raekwon's he's always just been like cold. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people, just the way they say things, you're like, bro, he could say anything, and I'd be like, oh, that's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the best way I could describe him is just straight butter. It's like melting butter.
Yep.
That's it.
And I get the Ghostface thing too. To me, it's like it's more of a quantity over quality thing. Because like, imagine if Raekwon gave us as much music as Ghostface is giving us. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the main differences. So I get it too. Like Ghostface had.
Ghostface because he never gave me the full album with MF Doom. It never happened. There's no full album, so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And he doing
that's a little disappointing.
Doing all the other stuff. You got a whole thing with Sarface. You working with all these producers. Finish the Doom one. Just finish with Doom. That's it.
Yeah. Ghostface put out a pretty good. He put out a nice project last year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he recently dropped some shit. It was
that this year? That wasn't this year.
Wu-Tang's been kind of doing that thing because Method Man's last one was nice too.
It was 2020, 2019, but yeah.
Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah, Meth dropped that year too. I think was that the Meth Lab too. Yeah, Meth's been doing his thing too.
Yeah,
and then you got RZA dropping an inspirational talking album this year.
Bruh.
That shit is wild, bro. Because I'm like, obviously, I got to listen to it, and I was like, man, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. Definitely
shit done afterwards.
Of all the albums I've heard in the past couple of years, Black Thought is by far killing everybody right now.
Black Thought and Royce the 5'9" are just out here trying to hurt people's feelings.
I replayed Black Thought's verse on Crown for Kings with Benny the Butcher probably like 3-4 times a week.
Oh yeah,
he's a savage, absolute savage.
He's a savage, absolutely.
And he is probably. I'm gonna say this, well, because I don't count myself in this. He is the greatest rapper alive right now, and I think Nas is the GOAT. I think Black Thought is the greatest rapper alive right now.
Yeah, I feel like what's crazy is like Black Thought has always been I've always been a Roots fan, but the fact that like he just reinvented himself a few years ago, like, oh wait, you guys thought you would forget about me, and just decided to go, Goku mode, like, relax, yo, he bugging out.
I don't think he
must have forgot.
Yeah. That song y'all must have forgot. Also a wild track. I know you're a boxing fan, so I know where that came from. That was a wild song, but what was that? Roy Jones?
Yeah, Roy Jones.
Oh shit! I remember the video for that too. But it's shit's crazy, bro. Like Black Thought is. When he did that little like 5-piece. Was that last year? That little short.
Which one?
Yeah.
You talking about
that EP he dropped?
The one with Salam Remy or the one with Ninth Wonder?
I think it was the Salam Remy one he dropped.
The last one was the Salam Remy. That shit's fine.
We reviewed both of those.
The joint to have fentanyl on it.
Yeah,
fentanyl. That's crazy.
We need a. I don't know if I love the Roots, and I would love to hear a Roots project. But if he's whatever this like super hip hop version of him is doing, I need an album of that.
Facts.
And it's like if he's gotta put, you know, if he's gotta bench the Roots for that album, I'm okay with it.
I want to hear him on a solo with different producers, not just.
I want to hear him and Primo, him and fucking, you know, I want Pete Rock, I want Static Select on there, you know, I want Alchemist on. I want to see him go nuts.
Muggs, maybe.
Yo,
some Muggs. Ooh,
I want to see him go crazy with all, because you know he's got that power. You know what I'm saying?
He's a savage.
Yeah, for sure.
Savage.
But
and his shit is what you need to hear. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit you need to hear.
That's a fact. But yeah, man, we not trying to keep you too long. I think we hit that hour mark, man. But yo, again, man, yo, we truly appreciate you chopping it up with us, man. This was a good ass time. It's a good hip hop.
It was a good one.
It's my kind of move. But yo, man, do your tags, do your drops, and all that stuff. Let everybody know where to find you, all that good stuff, man.
Find me on Instagram at That Dude Spits. You can check me out on Bandcamp, thatdudespits.bandcamp.com, and you can find me on Spotify, Mike Titan. You know, follow me on Spotify, playlist me. You already know.
Yes, sir. Yo,
I appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Yo, anytime, yo, keep in touch, man. Hit us up, man. I'll let you know when this drops, and I'll hit you in the DMs with, you know, what we need for the promotion and blah, blah, blah. But, yo, again, we truly appreciate you chopping it up with us, man, for real.
No doubt. Likewise, brother. Stay up.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Have a good one.
Stay safe. All right.
Peace.
Yo, the realest niggas is the realest niggas, it's that simple. But everybody telling stories not even half went through. Past the mental side of the game, failed the politics. Wanna hear me spit that gotta break? Yeah, a lot of it. The product is a generation of lyrical degradation, artistic compromise. You smart if you follow guys. Bottle lies, sell a poison. Coke, Pepsi, they all playing 5 or 6 gangsters. Joe Pesci, everybody's a tough guy, but only some thorough. Fame got them gas heads, big as sombreros. Creating your own waves, a thing only guys do. Playing 5 positions so there's no one alive to. They was penning murder with ink before there was Ja Rule. Same middle-aged dudes make music to rob to our growth. Stunting, consumption of junk food. No ratchetness, a pacifist. I studied my Sun Tzu. Still practice my gun fu and sharpen my 1-2. Still meditate to elevate like a monk do. Learn truths as a youth on stoop sipping bum juice. 211 blue as heaven, Ed had seen then. And I was always scrolling with the pen of what was growing. Higher than a Boeing, JRR token. Never chosen, never posing, undrafted. But I'm flowing like the greatest of one of them. So keep your eyes open, yo, the marksman. Disabled writers like arm slings. Verbal darts sting, rappers duck like Darkwing. Harp string niggas get no play in 2020. The bar king with this art thing, y'all got nothing for me.